Chapter 22, Introduction to Exercise Modalities. So put simply, exercise modalities are tools that are designed to enhance an exercise or movement to create a desired outcome. There are many different types of exercise modalities, including resistance training equipment, such as free weights, barbells, landmines, bands, cable resistance, kettlebells. There's a ton of different ways and ways to approach resistance training and exercise in general. But we saw that there are specific ones to resistance training. There are also balance tools and fitness trackers that we may be able to incorporate into our training and our programming. It's important to keep safety and effectiveness in mind when deciding which training modalities may be the best to use and when to integrate them into a program. Because most novice exercisers lack resistance training experience, strength training machines may offer a safer and effective option to free weights, although there are the drawbacks, right? Strength training machines, however, are often regarded as inferior to free weights for improving core stability and muscular coordination, as they offer artificial support instead of using one's core musculature. In an instance where our goal is strictly to build strength and to maybe build hypertrophy, then machines offer a benefit because we don't have to worry about the stability. Whereas if our goal is to have a little bit more of a fully integrated approach and also improve our core stability and muscular coordination, then free weights may be better off. Free weights can be used by most population in a variety of fashions for many goals and in all phases of the OPT model. Although extremely versatile, free weights can be intimidating for some clients. So just kind of weigh those factors in when deciding what you're going to use as your exercise modality. There's a lot of different ways to get things done. Cable machines can provide greater range of motion when compared to selectorized strength equipment, right? Because there is a little bit more freedom of movement in the direction and the angles that we're using. Just be mindful that when we're using cable machines, it's important to match the cable's resistance to the muscle's natural line of pull. So you have that generally the choice to move the resistance point high or low and use different handles and different resistance ways to utilize that cable machine. Similarly with elastic tubing. So elastic bands and tubing also allow clients to perform resisted exercises that mimic sport-specific movements, such as a golf swing or a tennis forehand. Usually some of these things can be good for our rotational movements. Elastic resistance is portable and it's inexpensive, but it may not be ideal when trying to develop high levels of strength and muscular hypertrophy. Right? Bands, when they're pulled, there's only so much resistance they can give. Before they either, don't give you enough resistance, or if you're pulling too hard that they might potentially break. Medicine balls can be used like other resistance implements to add load or instability to an exercise. And medicine balls can be used with a variety of populations as part of a program to increase muscular strength, endurance, and power, or in some cases to help rehabilitate from injury. I think med balls have a lot of different uses, and it's just what maybe one of the biggest factors is the load of the medicine ball that you're using. Whether you're going to use it for strength or for power is going to be very different. A kettlebell differs from a dumbbell, barbell, or medicine ball in that the center of mass is away from the handle, which may require more strength and coordination, as well as increased recruitment from stabilizers and prime movers simultaneously during particular movements. Many kettlebell exercises involve multiple joint motions and multiple muscle groups. So there's a lot of benefits and ways that we can utilize a kettlebell for our advantage, but just note that the primary distinction is that the weight is not in the center of the grip anymore. Suspended bodyweight training is an innovative approach to bodyweight fitness training in that it uses a system of ropes and webbing that allows the user to work against their own body weight while performing various exercises. And this might just look like TRX. There's a brand called KO8. You can also use rings. Potentially, even if we're just using a barbell, suspended body weight training is very useful because it's going to tell us exactly how strong we are compared to the amount of weight that we possess. Sandbags are designed to be carried, lifted, thrown, and pulled, and most come with several handles to easily change grips. Unlike barbells, dumbbells, and selectorized machines, the sand within the bag is constantly shifting, providing continuous instability. VIPR is VIPR is an acronym for Vitality, Performance, and Reconditioning. And this is a piece of equipment. It's designed to be used to be dragged, tossed, lifted, pulled, pressed, and carried. And it essentially is just a tube, a weighted tube with handles that are built into it. This design provides the fitness professional the ability to perform multi-directional, full-body exercises with external load resistance, known as loaded movement training. So it kind of looks like a log, but it's usually made of like a polymer, and it's got some weight to it, and you have handles that you can hold pretty comfortably. Battle ropes are typically made of heavy-duty nylon and come in a variety of lengths and thicknesses. Battle ropes are low-impact activities which provide less impact on the joints. If you've ever used a battle rope, you know that they can be a very effective tool for some upper body conditioning, and they can be a change of pace, especially if you're trying to do something a little bit higher intensity or work on some conditioning that's not a lower body conditioning modality. Balance modalities improve balance, ankle stability, and coordination, but should not be used to perform maximal or near maximal lifts for safety reasons, right? Makes sense. We don't want to be doing things, we're going to talk about a Swiss ball, a stability ball, not always the best thing to be doing resistance training on something like this. Stability balls, also known as Swiss balls, are frequently used in a variety of training facilities with a wide range of populations. They're primarily used to increase the demand for stability in an exercise, but they can also be used to reinforce proper posture during squatting movements if you were to have the ball placed behind your back while you did a bodyweight squat. The Bosu ball is an inflated rubber hemisphere. It's attached to a solid plastic surface. So it looks like a stability ball that's been cut in half, and then it has a solid surface on the flat side. Training with the Bosu ball offers the ability to increase the intensity of an exercise by decreasing the stability. The TerraCore is comprised of an inflatable rubber bladder and hard surface backing. So if you picture almost like a bench that has a stability ball built into it, it's like being on a bench that has structure and so like a solid frame, but it has like a inflatable stability ball seat to it. Unlike stability balls, it's safe to perform several resistance training exercises, such as a dumbbell chest press while lying supine on the TerraCore. TerraCore obviously has a little bit more support, and you can infer from here that they're saying that it is not recommended that we do weight training, that we do resistance training on a stability ball. Fitness trackers are electronic wearable devices that enable a user to track their activity levels. And they come in many forms, such as watches, bands, rings, heart rate monitors, and pedometers. The ease of use and intrinsic motivation are key factors for continued use of fitness trackers among those who purchase them. And then just thinking through just briefly our pros and cons of strength and machines versus pros and cons of free weights. So some of the pros for a strength machine may be that they are less intimidating for certain clients. They can emphasize certain muscle groups for rehabilitation or bodybuilding purposes, depending on the angles and the setup. There are various intensities, and the load provided in one weight stack, so you don't have to move weights. Does not require a spotter, provides extra support for clients with special needs, and keeps the client in a fixed plane of motion, which may limit excessive ranges of motion. Some of the cons, the downfalls of strength machines is that many machines do not allow the user to perform total body exercises. It's usually a smaller kind of compound joint or single joint movement. Moves primarily in one plane motion, does little to provide a challenge to the core stabilization system, may not be ideal for improving athletic performance. Machines do not fit all body types. Short, tall, or obese clients may have a hard time adjusting the machine. And they can be expensive in comparison to other strength training modalities. And then when we think about the pros and cons of free weights, pros can be that they can be used to emphasize certain muscle groups or target multiple muscle groups. We can improve athletic performance. We can challenge the core stabilization system. We may be able to improve dynamics, joint stabilization, and proprioception. And they allow individuals to move in multiple planes of motion. Some of the cons of using free weights could be that they require a spotter, maybe. They may be too difficult for beginning clients to perform until the exercise technique is mastered. They may require multiple dumbbells or barbells, may require multiple dumbbells or barbells to change the intensity or load. They're potentially more dangerous, and they can be intimidating for certain individuals. So just be mindful of all the different options and ways and modalities that you have to elicit change and to stress the system. This is where you get to cook. This is where you get to be specific and creative with how you're going to implement your training. But just remember that most of the time, simpler is better. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to do a million different types of exercise and uses of modalities in order to achieve great results. So when in doubt, keep it simple.